take away the card this, so that apparently was ban-worthy for AT Gaming.
So I'm wondering now whether after Doris's great performance in the last game, they're going to say Shen, or whether they'll take that Zac away. I'd imagine with taking that Zac there for AT that we will see a Shen over with KMT.
I would definitely think so, but I don't know, like Zazis with this whole champion pool, he plays a lot of
Shen Zac is not a good team to go up against. With Stan United on a flying Zac, that's scary.
Throwing an Orianna on top of that?
Yeah.
But I mean, he plays a lot of DPS top laners, so Kennen, Elise, Jace, and Aurelia. So I'm kind of surprised, I couldn't read my writing for a second, so I'd be a little bit surprised to see him pick up a Shen, but we've already seen it earlier on today with teams that normally play like DPS champions in the top lane, go for something safe like a Shen, because with what's on the line right now, at least KMT being one game up, they have a game that they could technically throw right now. So why not play something safe, play something a little bit comfortable, and then if it doesn't work out, then go more towards the way you used to play with that third game.
Well, they want to lock that bottom lane in here. Celever and Super A saying, we want that Caitlyn Sona, and they're going to get that Caitlyn Sona. First two picks them that. Still leaves so much open in this one. Let's not forget the likes of Zed, who was banned in game number 1. He's open this time around. Will Janitin actually pick that up and take that away from Overpower?
Well, still, I mean, we have Thresh and Shen waiting out right now, and we saw earlier on how strong a Zed can be, and it's pretty much like that every game. I mean, if you can get that 1 or 2 kills on them, then you can really start to do well, but it looks like AT Gaming, they're taking their time here. They're not exactly sure what they want to go for it. If that Shen does get locked in, we still technically could see a Shen jungler here, but what about Elise? I think it was banned
What about
once.
Elise? Not being banned a lot today.
Yeah, I think once maybe, and then wasn't picked the rest of the day.
But we've been seeing a lot. I mean, obviously she's had change. She's had a big change, and big change. Teams still think that she's right up there pretty much where she was. But it looks like we're going to be seeing Varus again for Sliver, and also a Lissandra this time coming around for Janitin. I'm expecting.
Yeah, and what's really interesting to see for me right now is, so in the International Wildcard Tournament, we saw a lot of Malphite. We saw even some Nautilus in there. You never see those two champions anymore in European LCS, or at least currently in the Challenger Series, because they don't value those champions as highly. Back at the beginning of the season of the summer split for European LCS, we saw a lot of Malphite, but he's kind of not really been there for the rest of the time, and right now, AT Gaming have a very strong team, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree with that one, and favorable champions where the game is right now, in terms, especially that Zac and the Lissandra, in my opinion. On the other side, NASA's coming out for the jungle with that Renekton up top for Zazas, which we see a fair amount of people going for Renekton against Zac. They kind of like that matchup coming in.
Jarvan.
And Jarvan.
He hasn't been touched yet.
Yeah.
I'm honestly amazed to see that, because he was a high priority pick last game, and yet we're not seeing him this time. And we saw he worked out very well for AT Gaming at the beginning of the game, but wow, I'm just really surprised to see like so many of these champions just kind of go through.
Yeah, Shen is still available, which tells me if it's got through AT here, they might want to go for something like Jarvan jungle, that Zac top lane, or they could just whip out an Aatrox, and I'll be wrong on all fronts. I would have been wrong too, don't worry. I would not expect an Aatrox. We saw Diamondprox running him just last week in the jungle. One game he did phenomenally well. The second game he against EG didn't really do that well, unfortunately, but will it be top lane or will it be jungle? That's what's so nice about having these two champions. You don't know where Zac is going to go officially, or for sure. You don't know where Aatrox is going to go. And I would imagine that Aatrox would be up against Renekton top lane. Yeah, I quite fancy that as well. The fact that they picked that Renekton into the Zac and then saying, okay, we're going to take Aatrox and move that up there anyway and see how we like that. For KMT now, time to pick their mid laner. Who are they going to go up with here against a Lissandra? Zed's still open, by the way, just saying.
The thing about Zed is you can't really kill a Lissandra. Well, you can kill Lissandra.
It's a lot of AD if they go Zed.
Yeah, and your ultimate. I mean, it can be completely mitigated by her ultimate if she uses it on herself, so it wouldn't be, I guess, the smartest pick here. Maybe that's why we didn't see Zan bend out by AT Gaming, because they knew they wanted to run that Lissandra here, but that Ryze, we never see Ryze mid lane usually anymore. I think the only person I remember recently was Alexich back in week 7 or something like that. He ran at middle, and he did dominate the game. I mean, he was 4-1 at the beginning of it, but still, you don't really see him there too often because he's not very fast, so it's really hard to kind of escape a gank there, and he really kind of punches the top lane.
Well, it will be that Ryze actually locked in here for KMT. Obviously, they're on game point technically now after winning match number 1 in this best of 3. Now moving on to the red side, though, we'll see how they do there. And honestly, I really like the picks here for AT Gaming as well.
I do. I definitely agree with you. And I think level 1, what we're going to see out of them is some very deep wards, because they want to not get countered by KMT's bottom lane. I think KMT wants to send Caitlyn and Sona against his Aatrox, keep him punished, because Renekton does really well by himself in a 1v2 under turret. And if AT Gaming can kind of get the advantage of seeing where that combo is going to go and then counter that exactly how they want to, that gets them off to a very strong start. But I definitely agree, like their whole lineup is just really strong. They have so much damage, they have so much inherent tankiness, not to mention that double revive. If we saw a Zillion come in, I would laugh even harder, but that double revive coming out of Aatrox and Zac.
Well, I mean, we talk about inherent,
awesome.
inherent tankiness, and KMT have that as well. Nasus, Renekton, Rise.
I just remembered something.
Go on then, share your pearl of wisdom with us all.
The brothers ult combo with Renekton and Nasus, that means dragons will die very quickly, and I would almost guarantee a very early Baron coming out of KMT as long as they're not too far behind, because the percent damage you do off of it is just ridiculous. You shred through that Baron fairly early on.
So getting underway here with our second game in this best of three. AT Gaming take on KMT. Over in the other semi-final, by the way, I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update. Copenhagen Wolves are currently 1-0 ahead against TCM, but right now they've just started their game. They're about 10 minutes in, and things pretty level in that one. So obviously the winner of this one will meet the winner of that game. Still could be a long way to go in this one, though, as if AT obviously win this, we'll go through into a third and final matchup to decide the winner of this semi-final. But here we go in game AT versus KMT. Can KMT close things out here in game 2?
Well, only time's going to tell us. Hope they're around 30 minutes. We'll eventually find out here. And honestly, that'd be a big win for them. I'm trying to think back to the spring qualifiers, a promotion tournament, and the summer promotion tournament. And a Nexus was at the summer promotion tournament. Unfortunately, did not qualify, but I don't believe they were actually at the spring promotion tournament, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, having another chance to get into the LCS is definitely what they're really working for here. And AT Gaming, they're trying to stop that, and they're trying to work for that themselves. But right now, we do see Zaza stay on top of a ward, and this could be terrible for him.
This could be really bad for him, and not sure that he knows that that is there. Judging by this position that he doesn't realize that, as Janetton and Doris are waiting just around the corner. Elastic slingshot coming in. If Janetton's actually got his W here, they could do a really, really good job. They've got 4 men basically waiting to dive right on top of him. If Janetton flashes and locks him up with a W, that could be incredibly bad.
I think we would see a double jump. We would see Spike Knight and Doris both jump on top of him to knock him up consistently, and then that way Janetton can save his flash if they do want to chase him down here, as they're going to go for the engage.
They're going to go for the engage, but Zazas, well, all turned out to be a lot of nothing there. Just literally walked away from that one. They weren't able to get in there and do what they wanted to do, but 2 deep wards early on coming out here of AT Gaming.
Right now, I'm trying to see if those lane swaps are actually going to happen. As, by the way, I don't think we mentioned, but we did actually have we did have a second switch with Doris and Spike Knight. So we do have Aatrox in the jungle, and it will be Zac in that top lane. And I want to see how well you can get this champion going, because you're so dependent on doing well early on. If you don't make that happen, then you're not going to really do much throughout the game. I mean, yeah, you'll just be a tank to soak up damage. You'll have your engage out of your Q, but you really need to get some early game ganks going off, because you can do some phenomenal damage.
Well, both starting on the bottom sides of the jungle. Obviously, that means red for Spike Knight and the blue over for 760. Both of them going smiteless, of course, so that they can switch straight up onto the top side. Actually, Spike Knight taking a little bit longer to get his done. Nas is already well on his way up towards his other buff as well. This top lane, Zazas versus Doris. Obviously, last time was they were doing a lot of damage to each other, I guess, technically over the game, but it only really got interesting once the junglers actually got involved up in this top lane. With a Zac Renekton, it's probably going to be a lot of the same here as well.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see really any kill potential happen at the top lane without the junglers. And if 760 does go towards that top side, he would be spotted by a ward, so it'd be in his best interest to kind of farm away. However, Spike Knight, he would not be spotted going top lane, so it looks like 760 will go there for the counter gank here. But he will be spotted, and this gives Spike Knight the opportunity. Do I want to counter gank this? Do I want to go through the lane and try to catch them? Or do I just want to back off? And with the attack speed slow with that Wither, if he did level up, which currently he does have 1 point in, then that would just pretty much destroy Spike Knight's DPS.
Yeah, exactly, and that's something they've got to be really, really wary of. And in the end, they both decided, I think, nah, let's not fight for that one just yet. Let's get a bit more farm before we really get involved in these lanes. But again, Caitlyn, Sona, turns out to be a strong lane from overall. I mean, Varus versus Lulu, a wild growth thing that helps in lane, but on the other side, Crescendo, we know, how powerful that is if you hit the crescendo in the right place. It's stronger, in my opinion. It's going to be stronger overall than the Wild Growth coming down.
And not to mention, just in the laning phase alone, Sliver likes to play really aggressive here, which we saw last game with his CS lead, with the constant harassing of Sliver. And with that Sony, he's going to have that sustain. He's going to have that potential escape mechanism at level 6, but right now, Spike Knight, he's coming for a gank in the bottom lane. He would not be spotted going into Tribush, however, he doesn't know this just yet. It looks like we will see that pink ward come down in that Tribush. And he realizes, oh, nothing's there, kind of wasted that pink, but if he can pick up this early kill with that red buff, with that blue buff on him, it will give him such a strong advantage in this game.
Well, right now, just waiting to recall from this because honestly, KMT not really pushed out too far on that lane. And already, Sliver started to work up a bit of an advantage in terms of CS. Actually, it's going to come pretty much bang even by the time this wave has actually forced itself through. So, can't really break down too much of a difference in that one. In the top lane, Zaza's got the better of Doris at this stage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see that, honestly. I mean, just because it's Renekton, he can farm pretty well, and I don't think really Doris can go head-to-head against him at this early stage in the game. Maybe around that level 7 point when he has ultimate and the extra damage off of his Q, but I mean, he's fine. He's comfortable farming up under his own turret because he can actually wave clear very quickly with the Zac.
And then, of course, Ryze versus Lissandra in the mid lane. Ryze already working himself an early advantage, going for that Sapphire Crystal here at the start as Overpower. Is he going to actually catch sight of him? Here comes the claw. There is the jump in as well. Overpower's going to have to flash, but he's gone really low, but underneath the tower, he's turning around there, but the Bloodwell, which I almost forgot myself. Very excitable I am for First Blood, which doesn't happen. But they did almost take Ryze as well.
Yeah, they did. They got him extremely low right there, but he will have that teleport to kind of get back in the lane. That was a great job by Overpower to not panic too much. He was able to lock Spike Knight down there, and that means you won't be able to really go for any dives like that until quite a bit later on.
And then I can really get excited.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Forgot about Bloodwell. Good old stuff. That Aatrox. Couldn't happen to us sometimes. So as we start to hit level 6 on these mid laners, must be pretty close to that one. This top lane as well. Torres taking a bit of a bashing at this point from Zazas, who is continuing to keep that CS lead going for him and doing a really, really fantastic job. And as you said, those double, the brothers united ulti almost when it comes to Dragon may see an early Dragon, may force an early Dragon for this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what 760's been doing. He hasn't left the jungle once. He's just been farming up quite a bit here, and he will have that 6 very soon. And that does give them the opportunity to go for it. And they will have their AD carry support bottom. They still have, they had a pink ward onto Super Ace, who just used it. And right now, with pretty much no wards being anywhere on the map that would benefit Overpower to teleport in, it kind of shows that they're just going to farm away, and Overpower doesn't really plan on using this anytime soon.
And look at the advantage that KMT have got. This was similar in the last game, in the laning phase, just a pure farm gold difference that they've got going on. And it's working out that way once again, doing a really nice job of things. See that it's not massive amounts across the board, but it is an amount, as we are going to see them going in here on towards Super Ace. He's only level 4. This is going to be First Blood, and it goes over towards Sliver. Brilliantly done. There's the danger of that Lissandra roaming for that first kill.
And I love the fact that Jansen came down when he knew they had a pink ward there. He knew that it was just about to run out, so he wanted to take advantage of that by ganking right away, and ends up picking up First Blood for his teammate there. So great, fantastic First Blood out of him. Does get the assist, does have teleport as well, so he's going to be able to follow Overpower around the map, and 760 still in that jungle farming away.
Yeah, getting himself closer and closer towards level 6. Not got really much to work for when it comes to that. Almost, in fact, hit it from that blue buff camp there, so he'll be getting involved sooner rather than later. There's Spike Knight himself, who is at level 6, has just finished off his red buff.
Yeah, considering that 760 hasn't left the jungle, to not hit 6 that much earlier, actually even hit 6 after Spike Knight, kind of isn't a great sign, but he should be able to make something happen here. He's been farming up his Q quite a bit. I'm going to update you on exactly what it's at right now. Currently it's plus 96, so he's definitely getting there. He's doing a great job with making sure to stack that up. And Dragon, I mean, I would imagine that we would see that, and that'd be a huge advantage for KMT if they can pick that one up. However, it also could be a big failure if they end up losing it and they end up dying.
Yeah, and That top lane as well, you know, Doris had a tough time, as you'd probably expect him to, against that Renekton. The thing is, he's survived, which is the important thing in that top lane. He's not given any kills away. He's actually done well to keep it within roughly 12, 13 farm this entire time. So going well on that front from us. We are going to see Janet in here getting maybe caught out a little bit by 760 as he just follows the claw back home to safety.
That's got to be so frustrating to deal with, especially as a Naz this one. We do have that flash, but we don't have any CC. I mean, you have that little bit of CC with your Wither, but that's kind of about it. You don't have anything really hard to lock someone down, and that actually might be a problem for KMT as the game goes on. However, they do have that Crescendo, they do have that Rune Prison, and they do have that stun coming out of Xaxis.
So once again, a slower lane phase here. 9 minutes into this one. Scoreline 1-0 in kills for AT Gaming, but gold lead still over with KMT for what it's worth. Seeing the Spectre's Cowl coming in for Renekton. Is he going to head down? No, he's actually going back towards his lane. So it looks like they're not comfortable yet with thinking about a Dragon attempt.
And one thing that really is nice about a Nasus as the game kind of goes on, and with a very high-pressure jungler early on, which right now AT Gaming has, is you have great wave clear. So you can defend a turret really well, but you can also push turrets very quickly. And if he actually visited bottom with a Caitlyn, they can push these turrets down very fast, and yet been very hesitant to right now, as we do see some good damage being taken. And I really want to know what's going through his head, because he has not left this jungle. He's just been farming constantly, and yet he's only 1 CS ahead.
And let's have a look at the top lane there, because we've seen, as I said, the Spectre's Cowl picked up, plus the workings here of that Sunfire Cape, which already has meant that Zac has pretty much come off his turret completely for that one. Down in the bottom, we are finally going to be seeing a pink ward go down towards Dragon, so this could be the opening of the first Dragon of the game, and there is 760 going to take that one down at the back. What will AT Gaming do to react to this one? Will they come down and check it out, or will they just sit back and hope for the best almost? Aatrox is coming in there, doesn't have any wards to actually put in, but they should be able to get vision. Actually, they're moving down there on their own. They're going to have 4 men in the area, and they possibly might go for Dragon here. No? No.
They definitely, I mean, it's still a possibility, but what this kind of shows right now, with that pink ward that came down to 760, taking all that vision away, it pretty much guaranteed that Spike Knight has to sit towards the bottom side of the map, because if he does show top, they'll lose Dragon, and he might not even be able to pick up the kill off of that with the slice and dice coming out of Xaxis. And now with them having that pink down, it pretty much makes it so 760 can't roam around into this top lane to go for a gank either, or even push a lane towards that top side. They will lose out on that Dragon.
So just 200 gold separates these two teams. It's KMT, the leaders of this best of 3 so far, that have the CS lead in this one. We are going to see Sullivan down the bottom, actually forced to use his cleanse here to get away from things, but will they be able to get away from the Lissandra? There's a lot of damage coming in. Sliver is going to fall from this one. He uses his barrier. Oh, Wild Growth coming in as well. He's still somehow alive from it. Actually will survive for now, but with Rise, with them all coming down onto this bottom lane, this is going to be a massacre for KMT. They pick up 3. It's going to be 4, but it's a triple kill for Sona. Sona. Why, Sona? Why?
I think the real question is why
They've
not,
got
Joe?
it, though. It's a triple kill. Good job, Sona. They're going to get a turret as well.
And that was just a fantastic response out of KMT to pretty much call, all right, teleport, come in right now. Even though Silver was the one to go down, he was able to get so much damage down before he died. And we even saw Jansen, he ulted Super Ace, and then he actually missed a Q on him, which I don't know if it would have been enough damage to take him down eventually, but I don't know, maybe that shows a little bit of nerves, and KMT coming out huge at that. They're going to be able to pick up Dragon off this as well, so 4 kills and a Dragon. It's just like what we saw previously with that Ace, Baron, Dragon, and a turret.
Well, Sona might as well head back now and spend that 2,000 gold on a needlessly large rod and just keep that killing spree going. I mean, that would be probably a different story for KMT even further if that was now a 3-0-3 Rise, by the way, which would be pretty scary. But never mind. Kills are kills, and you can see what it gives them there. I mean, if you compare the 2 support items right now, that is a big bonus that he's got.
I think the problem is that you can't compare them right now, because you have the Ruby Sight Stone, you have the Philo Stone, which currently Millie did not go for, and an Oracle 12 minutes in. That is a very, very early Oracle, and if he's going to pick that up and actually use it, they better make use of it, or else it's just a waste of 400 gold.
Yeah, and he's actually just popped it there as well, so they're going to have to make plays with this Oracle. They've taken down that outer turret, which means that they've actually swapped over towards that mid lane right now as well. Also keeping up protection on this bottom lane with Rise going 2v1 now.
Sorry, that ooh was a little bit weird, but with the Oracle, as we mentioned before, we're expecting potentially an early Baron coming out of KMT. That would give them the control of vision, and that would give them the ability to go for it here, and that might be the trick under their sleeve, because it's going to be up enough before that Baron spawns at 15 minutes, and right now they have that advantage. Ooh, that flash being blown, but they have the advantage to go for something like that.
Well, we'll see if they actually end up going for it. I mean, Renekton obviously can come down from that top side. Right now, Nasus and Ryze just hammering away the farm down on this bottom lane. Obviously, Overpower does have that teleport, so he can get involved up there if needs be.
And the thing is, with Caitlyn and Sona now mid lane, it kind of definitely shows that they're going to go for it, because they can't, Renekton and Nasus can't take it themselves, but if they have one more person there to help out, which would be Selavar, they'd easily be able to take that one down. And just like I said, Ryze doesn't have teleport up just yet, but he could potentially come up towards this Baron if he needs to, because it should be available by the time Baron spawns.
Well, first thing he's got to do is make sure that his bottom turret doesn't actually go down in that 2v1 scenario. We can see the Spike Knight here headed towards that top side. There was a ward down, so spotted he would have been anyway. In the end, backs away, and also the bottom lane of AT Gaming has headed back as well. So possibly waiting and preparing for something that may appear in the near future from this. But now Sona cleared out a little bit there. And that 400 gold, it's nice when you've got it to spend it, but you have to wonder if they're going to be able to capitalize actually on that, because 400 gold at this stage of the game is worth a lot more than later on, as we are going to see here Doris taking some good damage. Nasus has not actually shown himself here, funnily enough.
I believe he is on that ward. Like, you can
no,
see
it's not in the brush, is it?
I think it's on the very tip of it, so I think they can see him, but in the end, with this Oracle, they're trying to take away Blue Buff here, and they might be able to.
Oh, and they are going to be able to. That was 760, just walked straight in there. Able to pick that one up with his, was it Smite? No, it wasn't. His Smite wasn't up. It was just his Q. He just walks in and Qs it and walks back out again. And that's really nicely done from him. Down in the bottom lane, Overpower actually being forced to flash there. I say forced to flash. I don't think it was really forced to flash.
I don't think so either. I think that was just to make sure he doesn't die here. And right now, the Smite's going to be up very soon, and this is the time. Are we going to see that Baron come in, as right now KMT is trying to push his turret down, and I mentioned earlier, Nasus, very quick turret pusher, very strong, and can do some heavy damage to that turret, and right now there's no ward control out of AT Gaming on this Baron, so it's a very high possibility that's going to come in the next few minutes.
Well, I'm not surprised there's no ward control with that Ruby Sightstone plus an Oracle over with Sona at this point in the game. No way in hell that they could actually try and contest for that ward control up on the top side of the map. But keep talking about this Baron, and I mean, they've not gone for it. That Oracle's going to be running out pretty soon. We've seen, though, a Sunfire Caitlyn picked up now and added in there for Renekton. That's going to give him that extra bonus. We see Rod of Ages plus that tier stacking already here for Ryze, and he's going to have to get down to this bottom lane if he wants to keep the turret alive.
Yeah, it actually looks like they won't even go for Baron, as right now 7-6 is headed towards the bottom lane. So, I mean, we're kind of expecting it, but it's not something they necessarily need to go for right now with the lead they have. I think Dragon is at least more likely for them at this point in the game. But we do have a very tanky Renekton Xayah. He's pretty much been unhindered in this top lane farm. We haven't really even seen Spike Knight come up towards him to gank him, and actually neither jungler's really been up there except 760 just recently. But over on the bottom lane, the AD carries, because this is really going to play a part in how this game goes. Right now you have Sliver, he has the Bloodthirster.
Oh, Sliver is in trouble down on the bottom lane there, and well, they threw everything at him. The Wither came in. Chain of Corruption was thrown out for him, but that was a very defensive Chain of Corruption, and that's going to mean that is not up for this Dragon that'll be coming up pretty soon, I think. Not too far in the near future. We've also got the Infinity Edge in there for Selavar's Caitlyn, so generally things looking very, very good here for KMT. Nasus actually pushing out that bottom lane as well. And look at this, they're all starting to move up towards that mid lane, towards Baron area. This could be interesting.
And it looks like
if they know that they're not there, if they know that they've been able to push them back and gain ward control, then always an option, but they're still pretty low level. Like, it'd be really, really risky at this point.
It definitely would, and I'm trying to think, is it worth going for something risky when you're already one game up, or is it worth playing passive and not potentially throwing away a lead that you've been able to build up over these 17 minutes? But Dragon will be spawning in about 30 seconds here. And I think that's their game plan. Take the Dragons, control the Dragons, which, you know, I talked about so much this last week during the last week of LCS, and how important that is, and how many Dragons you can take can directly correlate to how many games you're going to win, because of the amount of money you get, the amount of XP you get. And I don't know, a little bit of fear. You get in the heads of the other team because the other team knows, like, oh, what's the point of going for Dragon if they're going to take it every time? They're already taken 4 this game. They have such a huge lead, but Jansen getting very low.
Yeah, this could be bad news for him. Actually, he's going to take the claw away and escape that one completely, which that just shows you how powerful this Rise can be. Had a good time of farming. He's 1-0-3. There is that Dragon spawn that we were talking about. Renekton and Nasus with a Caitlyn there. That Dragon is not lasting very long. And actually, Super Ace did pick up a second Oracle here, and he did a lot of ward clearing with the first one. Made that one pay for itself over. And I think that's the key with that first Oracle. Maybe you won't make plays from it, but if you at least let it pay for itself in terms of bringing back from the wards, then all good.
And because of that, Melifiore was forced into one himself, so that 400 gold not going towards that Ruby Sightstone. He's going to need that extra help, honestly, to survive these fights, because he cannot afford to ult himself. He's got to keep his team alive, mostly Spike Knight as he jumps in. And right now, there's not a really huge CS discrepancy in either lane just yet. I mean, the biggest one is about 20 CS's bottom lane, and it's an Infinity Edge in the hands of Celavar.
Well, it is 5,500 gold, as we are going to see Jansen taking good chunks of damage there, and we see his W onto Xayah, like, hardly even effective with that Carl in there as well.
Right now, AT Gaming, they're grouping up middle here. They want to go for a push on this turret.
And not with a Rise.
Yeah, not with a Rise, not with a Caitlyn coming up, not with a Sona there to make him sustain, and not to mention 760 going to be coming in from the side here. You actually should be able to catch Spike Knight, but are they going to go for a fight?
Well, he can jump away from this one, so even with that Wither on him, which slows him down to crawling speed, not going to be able to really stop him. Speed. It is crawling speed, as is Lulu's Glitter Glance as well. Glitter Glance, that's a new one. But Xayah here finally is going to be able to push down this top turret, as I say. That and Jansen comes in, but no real challenge for him. That will be turret number 2 for KMT of this game. And as we said, slow kind of progression to this one. Even though they have a good advantage, it's game number 2. They could win 2-0 here, and that's honestly the easiest way to go. I think it's the most comfortable way. When you've built up this big lead, big Baron plays, even big Dragon plays, sometimes not worth it.
Yeah, it's a slow, but I think time and time again proven effective strategy in winning out a game. And look how much gold they've been able to accumulate just through all these global objectives they've taken. 2 turrets, 2 dragons, and they have a huge lead for 20 minutes in. And now it looks like they're going to put that gold to test here as they're going to start pushing down this middle turret. Overpow's pushing this bottom lane, since he's pretty much going to be left all alone, has that teleport available. And right now, I mean, AT, they have to kind of respond. Do we want to fight middle? Do we want to send someone bottom to stop Overpow? And right now, like a Rise is a very strong counterpick to Lissandra because you both have pretty much the same range, but Overpow, he has the speed from that ultimate. However, Lissandra does obviously have that claw to just jump over walls.
Well, right now, AT again looking for objectives, moving on towards this middle turret. Only Nasus there to clear that one out. Currently, we are going to see Sona off to the side. Rise is off to the side as well, and they may try and get in. There is the jump, actually. Spike Knight already taking a ton of damage, as we are going to see all the ultimates dropping in there. Wow. And look at Lissandra's damage. Absolutely massive. KMT, though, they're still alive with a good couple of important players at the back there, but it's not going to be enough to hold on to the turret, and that will be, in the end, just a 1-0, funnily enough, after all that damage. But there you see the danger of Lissandra when you grouped up and what it can do.
I mean, I saw them all grouped. I saw them coming in. I was like, this is not going to be good. But I didn't expect that much to come out. And Super Ace, who had those 3 kills, had a killing spree, ends up getting shut down by Spike Knight. Super Ace, he did invest into the cooldown boost. It looks like he's going towards the lock of the Iron Solari. But right now, I mean, that was a fantastic job of AT. And that's what they needed to get back in the game. Just take any kills you can get and kind of not give anything away. And right now, about 5,000 gold behind. It's not really bad for them.
Yeah, if we look down the CS, there's a 20 to 30 lead pretty much across the board if you kind of average those out in that top lane. Look at KMT right now. And I don't understand this from AT Gaming's point of view. They've just taken the middle tower. KMT sent everyone mid just after that. And AT have backed completely away from it, just leaving that tower there for the taking.
I remember you talked to, was it Ocelot about that? And he's like, you know, I really don't know why teams do that. That's really like smart to not back away and give up a free turret. And fortunately for AT Gaming, they do lose some middle. So in the end, it was just 1 kill they got. I mean, they had a nice advantage from taking that 1 turret and that 1 kill, but now it's pretty much been mitigated across the board. And right now, KMT just going back to farming.
Yeah, back into that farming game, which they've done so well over the course of these last 2 games. See a bit of a war here between the supports, both with oracles on, trying to get things sorted on that front. Have a look at some of the items here. That's something we've not done for a little while. NASA's just bringing in that Aegis, so they're going to be the first team that get up towards that Locket of the Iron Solari, which is gonna remove a bit of that group burst that we've just seen from Janitin's Lissandra during that last fight. That's a big thing for them. Spirit Visage as well picked up for both Renekton and for Rise. So talking about reducing Lissandra's damage, that does the trick for both of them, alongside that cooldown reduction, which for Rise is especially important.
Oh, it's huge for him because, you know, with, I think it's about 30 to 40%. If you do get that, then you can do your perfect combo of the whole QW, QE, QR, etc., etc. And obviously makes his damage just go through the roof. But AT, they're kind of trying to bait in KMT here. They do have control of that bush because we did see Millifiore invest into that Oracle. But right now, KMT, they're not falling for it.
Why? They've played defensive pretty much with the lead up until now. I'm not sure why. All of a sudden, they'd end up face checking straight in towards that mid bush or going anywhere near that one. As such, AT realizing that, they will just back straight off. But KMT, in my opinion, need to be a little bit careful. I guess they're waiting for the next dragon to actually come up. They want to cement this lead even further. It's round about 7,000 gold now, which is 24 minutes in, a big lead for them. I mean, I'm not sure how much of a lead they want before they actually start putting on pressure and going for these objectives, but I think a dragon might just ping something in their brains to say, okay, guys, we have a big lead right now. We should start doing something with it.
I think they're trying to use the allure of the dragon to bait AT Gaming into a fight. Like, they want to fight on that dragon because they don't feel comfortable pretty much forcing the fight themselves on AT side of the map. And team up right now here, and KMT, they're in position. However, AT Gaming just really isn't. We do have Janitin, though. He has his teleport, or he doesn't have a teleport available. It's going to be up really soon, but not in time for this dragon getting taken away. And that's a free dragon. That's a free global objectives for KMT, and they're going to be happy with that.
Yeah, complete freebie. And that will, of course, only improve the gold standing tier for KMT. We've just seen Aatrox picking up a Spirit Visage of his own. Now, that's right now 3 in total in the game. It's showing pretty much what the cowl does for you.
Yeah,
and for the game, what it has done from that last patch.
That item is just, it's just amazing. I mean, it was amazing before, but with the cowl, it makes it even better. And right now, I'm trying to think, as AT Gaming, you know, I always respect teams that go for these big plays, whether they're behind or not. And we've seen in LCS Lemon Dogs do that quite a bit, where they don't care if they're down, they still fight you, and it puts a little bit of it makes the other team afraid. I'm trying to think of the word, and it's not coming to mind, but it keeps there we go. That is the word I was looking for. It puts a little bit of fear in the other team, and it forces them to not be aggressive. But I mean, AT Gaming, they can't really afford to go for that because their LCS careers are kind of on the line here.
Well, we say that, but in game number 1, you know, they got aced, then they had a fight, and they did the same back. So they still got that possibility. They've obviously got the coordination to be going for stuff like this, but right now, all around Baron, Rise has teleport up, so he can pretty much push this bottom lane for free, and as long as those wards are in on the backside of things really go down. But look at this, AT actually trying to make a positional play right now and head up middle.
They don't have minions with them, though, to kind of push this down, and they are not tanky enough to just face tank this turret, especially with Overpower having that teleport available to kind of get into this lane. And AT, they're just trying to find that crack in the defense that KMT has, and they're trying to exploit it. But right now, KMT are just not showing it. They're not giving them an opportunity to really take this game or take some sort of lead back.
Well, we've seen a second Aegis picked up, so we're going to have the pocket lockets here coming out for KMT. We'll see how that steads them in the next fight. Spike Knight tried to dodge that one, but it got through anyway. Somehow here comes Zac as well, but it looks like we are going to see them going in for it. Ult is running for Renekton and Nasus, and look at that damage coming down. Doris here bouncing at the back, but he's not really achieving anything from that one. Knight is going to be finished off. Overpower picks that one up, and that's 2 kills already. It's going to be 3 here once Celiva's actually finished. Wow, Chain of Corruption coming in, cleansed away, and Celiva's going to heal up there from the minions. Heal comes in from Super A's as well, and that is a 3 for nothing. And it was really only Celiva that lost any HP from that. Like, the others lost nothing almost.
Yeah, and right now he's able to heal that right back up, attacking from over the wall. And you're seeing AT Gaming, they have to give this one up. I was thinking maybe they want to try to contest it, but with how healthy everyone at KMT is, minus Celivar, there's no reason for them to go for this. There's no reason to lose out on anyone else, and that will be the first Baron of the game going over to KMT, and it takes him to over a 10,000 gold lead here, Joe.
Yeah, we got 2,200, 2,300 gold for Renekton to spend at this point, 1,700 for Caitlyn, and 1,000 for Rise. So similar, it almost feels like a bit of a replay from that last match. You know, the lane phase kind of long and drawn out there with AT doing well, but KMT at the end out farming them somewhat. And then when it comes to these fights, big deficits for KMT. Wouldn't surprise me now with this Baron on to see KMT not really do anything with it. Next time they fight, an ace coming out for AT. Head back, and then the game will finish, just like it did last game.
I don't think this one was an opportunistic Baron, though. I mean, yeah, they got a couple of kills, but I think they want to do something with it, or at least I hope they do, because why not? You're 10,000 gold up, you're completely ahead in items. There's no reason to not start pushing some turrets down. They still have 3 outers to take here, 1 middle, 1 top, and 1 bottom. And I mean, they're just so far ahead overall. Like you see Caitlyn, Infinity Edge over right now on Tavares, and has that Phantom Denser done as well.
So, all they have to really, I mean, all they can really do at this point, AT, sit back a little bit, soak up as much farm as they can. We can see Zach doing that in the top lane. He's the one with the real deficit when it comes to CS, actually, across the board. 193 to 274 right now.
And considered he was the one leading CS in that top lane in the game just prior, and it's really hurting him. We saw Zazas just do so well in the beginning of the game. And right now, with the amount of globals they've been able to pick up, I believe that's 3 dragons now, 1 Baron, 3 turrets. He gets a lot of extra gold income, even though he's already almost 100 CS ahead.
Okay, so just a quick update from the other semi-final. TCM actually took down the Copenhagen Wolves in game number 2, so that one's going to a 3rd and final map. In this one, I've got something to read out to you. So this is actually the chat log right now. Locket the Einslari, Phantom Dancer, Aegis, Locket, Last Whisper, Archangel Staff, Rando in Zone 1. Pretty much all big items, and they were all for KMT. There's not a single item being picked up between the first one and the last one in that list, and they've all gone over to KMT. And if you look at the gold leagues, over 10,000 now. This game is a matter of time before KMT start to really push to make that lead not only count, but go for the win, is what I'm trying to say. 1-0, massive gold lead here in game 2. They're gonna have to slip up to lose this game now.
And all of those items were picked up in the last 3 minutes, like because of the fight, because of the Baron, because of the Dragons. And ATG just haven't been able to complete any major items to kind of counter that. We see right now, Janitins, he's working towards his Zonius. He's going to have it done actually very soon when he does go back. And you see right now onto Sliver, he wants to get that Phantom Denser done, but right now, I mean, they're not being choked in farm. So looking for them, they can at least do that, because KMT's pushing all the lanes in, so they have the ability to farm that up. But with a Baron up KMT, if they play their cards right, they could force someone to go clear out a wave or a lane and then just completely kill him and take turrets right off the back of it.
So, I mean, if you look at some of the items in there, the Abyssal Scepter, obviously, got to get rid of 20 magic resist of everyone around it. Then you've got 2 Spirit Visages in there, plus a Negatron Cloak, which on its own is 40 for Nasus. Like, they're the 3 guys that are really up close and personal that Abyssal Scepter is going to be affected. So that's pretty much countered out of the game. Like, that really doesn't offer that much to the fight, apart from obviously the stats that it gives you directly there with the AP and that magic resist for yourself. So that just shows you how much of a tough time it is. But there is Celiver getting caught out of things. Didn't quite catch what actually happened there, but he's down and out, and that's the kind of thing that AT have to do if they're to have a chance of coming back in this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's all they need. One little slip up from KMT. You just mentioned it prior. Like, if AT's going to get back in this, KMT has to make the mistake, and AT needs to be able to really follow up off of that. But right now, Overpow, the slowest split pusher in the game, Rise, going to be able to take a turret bottom lane, so it gets the first inner one of the game for them. In the meantime, AT, they're just going to potentially push a middle here, maybe go for a inner turret of their own.
They've got nothing though. Minions are still down there. 760 as you can see on this top side. Now this Nasus able to clear out things very quickly at this stage of the game. We have seen Zhonya's Hourglass picked up for Lissandra and played the Ruin King for Aatrox as well since that, so that adds in nicely.
And right now we actually do see Fernaz, update that for you guys real quick. Plus 351 on his Q, so he hurts quite a bit, not to mention the ultimate and how tanky he is as well. And it's kind of weird, Celebar, I think that's the 2nd time he's died in this game in terms of just being overextended and just getting blatantly caught out, and hopefully he's able to really calm down, take a second, like, realize they're really close to being into the playoffs here, but also if TCM wins that next game, they're going to be in the qualifier or the promotion tournament coming up next year.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. We talked a lot about that one earlier on. Well, I'll cross that bridge, I think, when we actually come to it. But getting into the finals is obviously the main priority for both of these teams right now. And you have to say KMT are the ones looking most likely to be able to squeeze that one through after game number 1 and in a convincing fashion. And game number 2 now, let's call it a 13,000 gold lead for them.
It's a less convincing fashion, but they're still winning like equally the same, just because you haven't seen any real team fights break out. I mean, we have 13 kills in 33 minutes. That's pretty low considering the games we've seen earlier on today. But right now, Spike Knight, he has that Blade of the Ruined King gun, he has a Spirit Message, but I don't think he's taking enough to really deal with the team yet. I mean, he doesn't have any sort of armor. He needs like a Randuin's Omen, which right now Celavar doesn't even care about because he has that Last Whisper down.
Yeah, Last Whisper in there is going to build himself up a Banshee's Veil as well. Even more safe. There's a Void Staff now added in for Rise on top of that Archangel Staff, or the Zerus Embrace, that it actually is a Rod of Ages and a Spirit Visage. So good stuff across the board. And as we said, AT, they can only sit back, farm up as much as they can, get as many items as they can, and hope that they can catch KMT making silly plays. Yeah. Which happened in that last game. I mean, I'm not going to call it a silly play, that last game where AT actually won a big fight. It was just really well played. Positioning, everything was really right for them on that one, but they need that again.
And I'm actually really surprised that KMT's not forcing any objectives. And they have a Caitlyn, they have a Nasus, they're tanky enough. Right now, the only one that can really dive, well, they have 3 people that can dive into backline for AT. You know, we have Zach, we have Aatrox, we have Lissandra, but they're still being very hesitant to go for any sort of siege right now. It seems like they want to have a 6-item build before they finally go for that win. And that's fine for AT Gaming considering they're behind. I mean, when they have 6 items, they're going to have like 4 or 5, and we'll have enough damage at least to really fight.
Yeah, to put up a fight to them, and if positioning-wise they come out on better than that, and that's what we'll say, safe is better safe than sorry. But that might not be, if I could get it out there, I don't even know the phrase I'm talking about. If they can actually get, if they do that, it gives AT naturally a way back into the game. The longer this one goes on, the longer the AT they'll have a chance to actually come back and do something in this match to challenge for this 3rd game in a best-of-3.
There was a game that Meet Your Makers did a couple of weeks ago. They had a 20,000 gold lead, and they had like a 10,000 gold lead for a long period of time, but the thing is they were hesitant to really end the game or to go for any fights, and because of that, the other team, I think it was Lemon Dogs, if I'm not mistaken, were able to pretty much get enough gold to pretty much come back and have that ability to one-shot Chara at the time, who was a Twisted Fate. And right now, the same thing's happening in this game, and KMT, the thing is, like, this is something, they can consider this practice if they do win this game, and right now, I don't think TCM or Copenhagen Wolves would let this slide. As in, like, this much stalling, like, they would try to take advantage of this and come back and punish them for doing it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. We can see that Rise, at this point, is down in the bottom lane. He is still pushing. Rise, obviously the split pushing machine that he is not, is doing a great job of pushing that one. And actually got a decent amount of damage down onto that inhibitor turret there as well. And he's got that teleport available. It is Jonathan who's gone down there as well to try and challenge him because he has that teleport as well. Rise is actually running home guard boots here. So if he was to recall and then teleport home guard in, that's when he becomes really scary.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to Alex Itch, who played Rise a lot earlier on in the split. I think towards the end of the spring split too, where he would do this exact same thing and it would just catch teams so off guard. They wouldn't be prepared for it. But Baron, it is up again. And it looks like AT Gaming, they cleared all the vision. They kind of maybe wanted to go for it since they do see the Overpow's bottom, but I'm not sure they have the damage to take it down quick enough.
No, I'm not sure either. And we've just seen how the AoE ultimates alone of Xaxus and 760, they just absolutely rip through you. And you've got Rise, who's obviously going to burst down AoE style as well. So just overall, I think the team fights right now are not that good as Doris. Going to dive in here on towards Xaxus. He's going to get polymorph, but here comes his brother to help him out from this side. Celavar coming in as well. And look at Doris, down to half already. There is the support taking the focus as well. Going to wild growth himself here is Millefiori. I'm not sure that that's going to work out so well for him. There's a Let's Bounce going down at the back. We are going to see Spike Knight finally be falling down, but they want to focus here surely on the AD carry. They switch finally over to him. Already 3 men are dead. It's going to be 4 here in just a second. Actually, Slayer doing a really good job there to try and take down Xaxus in the end. Got him very, very low. And here finally comes Lissandra from the side, but Celavar going to be chasing down as well. Oh, great Zhonya's there. Last second, Piltover comes across though, and a cleanse flash coming out there for Celavar. They can finish the game right here. In fact, AT are calling good games already, and it will be KMT here to pick up this semi-final in a 2-0 fashion, where they'll go through to tomorrow's final to meet either the Copenhagen Wolves or TCM.
Yeah, fantastic job overall throughout the game. They just played solid throughout the entire time. It wasn't flashy, but it was a solid victory nonetheless, and got to give them credit for it. They had a huge lead at the end of the game, approaching 20,000. but the win, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how you get there as long as you pick that one up.
Yeah, you're definitely right on that. You can see there, KMT not looking too fazed by it. I don't actually see a smile even across their faces right now, but it doesn't really matter. Their sights are obviously set on that grand final here at this stage. And again, 12-5 in kills, 67 to 47,000 gold, like a 20k gold lead they had by the end of this 38-minute game. And by all rights, I think if they'd have fought early on, could have probably been over like 10 minutes earlier than it actually was. This, let's not beat around the bush, was a very one-sided 2-0.
Yeah, it really was. I definitely have to agree. And now Nexus, they're one step closer for their third try at qualifying for LCS. Next one's going to be obviously a little next year right now. But you know, think about SK and think about Mutual Makers watching this game. Is this a team that they might, or well, for at least SK, since Mutual Makers doesn't get to choose, is this a game that they potentially, or a team they potentially want to go up against? I mean, they might have seen some weaknesses, they might have seen some strengths, and SK and the next team that we're going to find out, obviously, at the end of this week, will be looking at this and wondering, is this the team we want?
Well, funnily enough, when we talk about the ending scoreboard there, most kills in the, not only on KMT side, but in the game overall were, of course, with Super A's, the Sona, the support player who grabbed that triple kill when we had the first big team fight down at the bottom. I think that slowed down the victory a little bit as well, because if those 3 kills would have sat on Rise and he was at 4-0-1 or whatever it was back then, that would have sped things up a lot. But on the same token, it allowed them to get a second locket in there, it allowed them to get early oracles, it allowed them to get that Ruby Sightstone earlier, and really control the map.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a slow victory that they just controlled the entire time. They just strangled KT as much as possible in terms of gold income. Eventually worked out for them as they had, just like you said before, a 20,000 gold lead at the end of the game. But right now, I mean, they just have to look forward to TCM and Copenhagen Wolves, who are going to be, I mean, not to be disrespectful, but are going to be on a different level than what we just saw out of AT Gaming. And they're going to have to really prepare for this over the course of a night.
Yeah, and that's the real danger. They've got to pretty much run over to the other stage right now to watch that final game and then study the first 2 for that grand final tomorrow. But that's pretty much what we're going to let you guys do here as we switch over the stream